What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to A Certain Point of View. Oh, as the intro is still going, excuse me. There we go. It is
Hi.
A Certain Point of View. Jake, Brian, and Jill here for a Schmoedown Star Wars tournament breakdown. Obviously, the Schmoedown community yesterday had a live match of Ken Napzok versus Ace Cabrera, and we're here to break it down in spoiler fashion. And as usual, I got the crew with me. I got Jill right there on the bottom. How you doing?
Hey, I'm hanging. When you said the match was yesterday, I went, was it really only yesterday?
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
It's crazy.
man.
It's crazy.
This week is nuts.
Yes, agreed. And then we got Mr. Brian Avlicino right there on the right side of the screen. How you doing over there, man?
Doing well. Weird week, long week.
Yeah. So we have a really cool match to talk about today, though. This is obviously one that's been hyped for quite a while because Ace was the first competitor to play in the tournament. He ended up beating Josh Cavedo and advancing in the tournament to get the official nod to as part of part of the tournament. And he's playing his former master, Mr. Ken Napzok. And if you watched the match yesterday, you know very well what happened. Ace took the victory, and our very own Jill called it from the very beginning. All hell Jill on this one. Yes, very much so. And so we're going to break it down and kind of go, not question for question, but round by round and discuss it. And we might as well start with beforehand as far as what we thought was going to happen. And I think out of the three of us, I was the only one that said I felt like Ken would bring a little bit of magic to it and find a way to get the W. And boy, was I wrong.
Seriously.
I mean, to be fair, I was also kind of hoping that was going to happen, but I was like, nah.
Yeah. Brian, you went with Ace as well, too, right?
No, I've just Jill again.
Oh, okay. I thought you went. Okay. All right.
I went with that Ken would win by like 1 point.
Got it.
But nope. Not.
I think I also said it would come down to the 5 too.
Yeah, every question was asked,
Probably.
which is great. Which is a great sign for a Star Wars match, and that feels like how it's going to be for the rest of the tournament for sure.
Oh, the rest of the tournament's going to be brutal.
Haymaker for haymaker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into this. So promos were obviously great for this one. The pre-video on the stream itself was really, really good. And Ken doing his usual stuff, Ace stepping in there as well, and Winston doing I loved Winston's force grab with the phone at the very beginning of the video, which was great. Great little editing there. But as far as the first round goes, look, we've been talking about for a while here how this tournament, specifically, a lot of the questions seem like they're a little bit softball-y, right? They're a little easy, a little simple, especially with the first round. And man, did that change for this specific match, because these first round questions were by far the hardest we have seen yet. And they were really struggling. I mean, halfway through the round, maybe even on question 6, it was like 3-4. And that's something we don't usually see in something like Star Wars, which is like a nod to PJ Campbell and the writing staff as far as what they're doing for this. And so credit there, but it ended up being 7-6, so a very close first round. But these questions, they were really, really tough.
They were rough, man. There was some where I was like there was a lot of crawl text questions for this match too, which are arguably some of the harder questions, believe it or not. But I think they both got the second question wrong for round one.
Yeah.
Ooh. And when that happened, I was like, here we go.
Very true. Very true.
See what happened.
Yeah. I was looking at this thing like, whoa. Like these are questions I have not a shot in the dark at. Like they were some hard questions. They were barn burner questions from the beginning and didn't let up from at all.
Well, and it's very rare that you'll and I know that, and we'll talk about this at some point, but it is rare that you can stump someone like Napzok in a first round. And after Ace is showing in his first match, him too, and they were clearly a little confused and just shocked by how difficult the questions were, and it kind of continued a little bit throughout the match, but not as much. But I would definitely say that the first round was the hardest out of the 3 rounds, which is something that we don't see very often.
I would say that was the hardest first round of the whole tournament.
Oh,
and here's Mr. Leo Logan stepping in. It was the lowest round 1 for a Star Wars match in a while in terms of 10 questions. Sullivan Wood had 5-4 in round 1, but they asked 6 questions, which is a great call. It's a very, very good point there. And this is the tournament, and we were not expecting to see this until maybe the championship match, right? where the questions will
Imagine what the
definitely be
championship
extremely hard.
questions are going to be like now.
Yes, very, very true. So yeah, that's what it is like after round one. So Cabrera Ace leads round one with 7-6. We go into second round here. Very simple here. Ace ends up going first after talking to Winston, spins Revenge of the Sith and keeps it. Goes 4 for 5 for 7 points. Does really, really well. Had a couple questions where he questioned himself, but he crushed it. And then so he's leading 14-6 at that point. And then Mr. Napzok goes in and gets Rogue One. Interestingly enough, though, he didn't seem very confident in choosing Rogue One. And we'll get to the whole manager thing at the end of the match because that's something that we definitely have to discuss. Whether Jill wants to or not, that is something we probably need to discuss.
I guess we kind of have to, don't we?
Yeah. But he seemed very just kind of like, all right, sure, whatever, which is interesting in this type of match. Does pretty well, 4 for 5, 7 points, but Ace gets a steal in this in Napzok's round. But yeah, second round, not bad. The funny thing is Ace was sitting there during Napzok's turn, essentially answering all his questions in his head. It seemed like he knew all the questions more so than Napzok did.
I agree with that. You could tell just from his facial expressions, he was going, and then when he would get it right, he'd go like darn, I knew that one. So it was definitely interesting. I always get really happy that when people pick Revenge of the Sith because that is my jam. So whenever that lands, I was like, thank you. But I was really surprised that Napzok stuck around with Rogue One.
Me too.
Because I feel like Rogue One and Solo, even though they're standalone films, they're kind of the harder movies in my opinion.
And they're so fresh.
Exactly. And so I was going in my mind going like, well, I feel like he would rather have anything than Rogue One, even maybe Mixed Bag, or because that's Napzok. Because Napzok, just like I said, he's a walking encyclopedia. So Mixed Bag probably wouldn't even bother him really. So I was honestly really surprised he stuck with Rogue One.
Yeah, I agree too. I said last week, we know he knows the original and we know he knows the prequel. The question is going to be the newer ones. And I mean, Jake, you said he loves the new ones, but anytime you get those like originals, it's almost like a toss up because they're there. People love them, but like it's every time you hear someone talk, they're going to say either the sequels, the prequels, the originals. Those ones are a toss up. And I mean, of the new era, that one's the furthest one back of these newer Disney movies. So, I mean, I was shocked when he took it because I was sitting there going, I would have thought he would have tried for something else for sure. Like, I mean, I feel almost exactly like Jill said, Mixed Bag, you could probably have anything. And then heroes and villains, he probably would have nailed too. So, I mean, that was definitely one that I was kind of questioning, like, why he's sticking with that. So
yeah, and it kind of plays into the whole theme here with Mr. Napzok and Ferris Mathana from the Let's Get Ready to Talk Schmoedown podcast stepped in and said Ken doesn't care anymore, and I think that we can all agree with that. He's and I wouldn't say to the extent where maybe he doesn't care, but he just kind of is like whatever about it. Yeah. He's talked about the retirement beforehand, and maybe it's something where he just doesn't want to play anymore, and he's cool managing or being something like that, like a supporter of the Schmoedown. But you could tell throughout the match, and it's a different side of Napzok that we've seen before, right? Where he was like, there was even a time where he wasn't like really even paying attention when Mark was asking a question. Like he was just kind of like out of it. And it was very interesting. I don't know if it's the quarantine or just, him in general with the Schmoedown, but I was definitely surprised to see this kind of Napzok because I love watching him play. I think he's brilliant as a character, as a performer. And he, like Jill said, I mean, you said that he's a walking encyclopedia. He knows the Star Wars, and this was kind of a bad representation of that. Especially doing a podcast with someone like Scrimshaw who just crushed it last week. Definitely an opposite end of the spectrum here.
And I don't want to say that he threw away the match because I do not think he threw it away at all. I think
Agreed.
Just was, if I win, cool. If not,
100%.
That's fine too. Like, I just think he was there to play. He wasn't hungry, I guess, is what I'm trying to go with. Did he throw it away? No. but he didn't have that same drive, I feel, that Napzok of 2 years ago had.
Agreed.
Yeah,
when he played Sam Witwer and all that stuff.
Yeah. It seemed very much a, like, you know, like when you have like a famous athlete that someone tries to pull out of retirement just for a one-time like hurrah to get those extra tickets sold and stuff like that, and the person's just like begrudgingly like, okay, I'll do it. That's kind of what it seemed like. I mean, Jake, I know you're the comment person, but this is exactly how I felt. He just wanted to be done with it. Like he looked like he was just like, oh well, like it was a bummer because like I haven't gotten to see, since I joined later in watching the Schmoedown, I never got to see him play live, and so this was going to be like my first Napzok. So I was hoping to get that real one. Yeah, he just seemed
well, and it's worth being said that technically he was the first seed of the tournament, and that's what, because he played the play-in, and I know it's all based on being a former champion, which he is the only former champion in the bracket. Okay, we got to just real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty funny. I mean, I don't know if I'm someone massive, but you know, you're welcome, Paris. So anytime, man. We love to have you. Yeah, we love to have you, man. But yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, if you're going into this tournament, even he's a former champion, I don't look at him as the number 1 seed. I looked at someone like a Dimolanta, Scrimshaw, or Kelly even as a 1 seed because they have a little bit more recent experience in the league. It's different from when Napzok was playing consistently. But because he was a champion, he had it, and he didn't perform like one, which is unfortunate. But let's give credit where credit is due. Ace, man, he looks like a completely different player. He looks like and we talked about it last time because we had saw the IG match with Parker, and then he stepped into the Star Wars match. We're like, okay, what kind of Ace are we getting? What is it going to look like? And we knew then it was different, but now it even looks more so. And he really is taking it serious, and he's not someone just to kind of, you know, push off to the side anymore. I really do think he's going to give Kelly a big fight when we do see that match in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. You can tell he definitely wants this. He's studying. He's studying. He's putting in the work ethic. He knows his stuff. He got some really hard questions. Arguably, like we said, the hardest round 1 of the entire tournament so far. And he did really well with that. Would Kelly have gotten a perfect round 1? Probably, because she's a beast.
Dimolanta probably.
Dimolanta probably, because also a beast. But Ace is showing that he is too, and he really surprised me with how well he actually did. Very happy about it though, because you can tell that he wants this. You can tell that and I feel like the play-in for him has helped, because once you get that 1 win under your belt, you're like, all right,
yep.
I got this. So I'm excited to see what he does.
So am I.
I'm gonna say from the beginning, the most scary people are the ones that lose and get embarrassed and then come back to just kill. And that's what Ace is doing. And it's like he said a couple times, I love when people pick against me. I love being the underdog, because then it just gives me that fire. And it's like, well, he's definitely got that. And it's amazing because is shooting way ahead, but he seems to be very driven he wants to support Swag. He wants to be that guy that they can rely on for points and stuff like that. I mean, let's be honest. He did not have a lot of people thinking he would get out of that play-in match. And now he has gotten, what, six points for Swag?
Yeah, 6
alone?
points.
6 points. So, I mean, he's doing so well for that team. And, I mean, if he beats Laura, which I'm not saying he can or can't, that he is really helping Swag in the Star Wars bracket. Because, I mean, I think he's blown everyone away, and just with his knowledge and what we expected of him going into Star Wars.
I will say you guys touch on the points right now. Out of the 2 tournaments, he's the only one for swag getting points. Nobody else has points for swag. So he has the 6 points that are keeping them in the fight. And we'll get to the standings a little bit later. Good point by Brandon here. Kelly hasn't missed any first round questions.
We know.
And that is something that could get in the way.
0.
That is something that gets in the way. So we're gonna see that. We're gonna see. But third round, we talked about it. And Jill had mentioned it, how it was gonna come down to the 5-pointer, and it very well did. It very well did. Every single question was asked in this third round. Some tough questions, some simple questions, but all in all, I don't think that I can argue with any of the ranking of point questions here. They all seem very fair. Ace again, and I'll mention it on all 3 of his questions. He didn't blink an eye. He didn't bat an eye. He answered them. He knew them right away. And Ken, seemed like he knew them as well. And it just came down to the fact that Ace had led every single round and beat Ken in the earlier rounds, and he ended up walking away with a 2-point victory.
Yeah.
This match was so much fun too. Like, we got like a fun match, which I was kind of waiting for.
We don't see very much.
The ones from last week was like scary, intimidating, anxiety-inducing, and then challenge. And so it was like, I just want like a fun match. Which, not saying that the other ones weren't fun, but this was like, I wasn't stressed out about this match. I didn't have anxiety.
And it even adds when the announcers are struggling with technology, because Mark had his issue with his internet, and then Christian, for some reason, had a hard time asking questions. And it's like the entire time, and I think a part of it was because it was like a true Schmoes No reunion, and that kind of played into it.
Yeah.
But it was really just a match where
that's so cute.
I know, right? It just felt like a match that was kind of all over the place. And like you said, it's what we needed, because the next 2 matches are going to be very intense. Obviously, Laura is a very intense player, and Dimolanta is a very intense player, playing against 2 people who are very lighthearted and wanting to win, and just great, fun people to watch. And so we need that break, and this match definitely gave that to us.
Also, shout out to Molly the Wonder Dog for
100%. 100%.
Molly, I want Molly vibes. She's the best.
Yes. Brian, you got any final thoughts here?
No, it was just, I think we really realized Ace was here after that first round. And it was just like, okay, he did pretty well, because those are some hard questions, and he's up on Ace. Up on Ken.
Napzok.
Yeah. So it was like, okay, he might do this. And then it slowly started to go, and you're like, he's going to do this. And I mean, I don't think, to be fair to him, it's not fair to him, but it was just like, I'm shocked at how well he's doing, but at the same time loving it, because the best ones are the ones that you don't expect coming, and then they just are like boom, boom, boom. So yeah, I completely love it.
And
we have a comment. We have a comment real quick, Jill. Sorry to cut you off, but we do have a comment from Magic Molly Damon herself.
Molly can cut me off.
Molly.
That's good. That's from a competitor. So I'm sure she and everyone else will be looking forward to that in the next couple of matches. As far as question difficulty, we expected it. I know Christian has said off the side that he loves seeing it in at least one match here and there. We'll see how it goes in the next couple matches, but I think it'll be good for all the competitors, because as much as we love seeing people go, 20 for 20 or whatever it is, I don't want another Dimolanta Scrimshaw match where it just comes down to an OT question. Everybody got a question right. I really do want a back and forth, thinking, multiple choices, JTEs. That's what the Schmoedown is all about. And so hopefully we do get that in the next couple matches there.
We want to see you struggle.
Yeah. We want to see you like question yourself, sit there, make us worry, and then nail it so that we can cheer along.
Yeah, it's more exciting for us. Yeah, exactly. It's more exciting for us.
Exactly.
It's funny because almost everyone agrees. Like it's that Scrimshaw and Dimolanta match was like flawless, but everyone was like, we like the drama a little. We'd rather them not be perfect. We kind of want to, we wanted a bit human.
Perfect matches.
It's the only sport ever where you don't want a player to be perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
No. We need the drama. We need the anticipation.
Yes. Eric Chan stepping in here. He thinks it's really neat how diverse the top four are. That's very true. Yeah. That's very true. All very different strengths, different favorites, different type of players. And that's exactly how a tournament should shake out.
2 ladies, 2 men too. That I cannot wait to see how this.
We're getting closer. Out. We're getting closer to our hopes and dreams of all women vinyl. We're getting closer. All 3 of us have been hoping and just willing it into the universe that we want to see this.
Force.
Yes, hopefully we're 2 matches away. Two matches away. Molly stepping in here. Less fun to win on technicalities.
Oh, absolutely.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Less fun to watch a win on technicalities for sure. I'll step back on some of these other comments up here that I missed real quick. Leah Logan steps in for the Ken discussion. After a second team's victory in Nerdwatch, Ken has now lost 9 games in a row.
Wow.
That is rough. That is a crazy stat. Being Ken Napzok, I would not expect that at all. I know a lot of those were recent Star Wars ones, a lot of close ones, but that is pretty crazy there. And then Ferris stepping back in here. Swag still has Polyama and IG. Don't forget about Primetime. Definitely not forgetting about Primetime. No. And I think his match is next week, if I'm not mistaken. And that one's gonna be haymaker for sure.
Oh, is it against Chance?
Yeah. That's a Titan match that is in the first round.
Yes.
I just think what Leo said, the Star Wars division is unlike any other division. And I say this, I feel like I say this every week, because look at the records. People with losing records have championships. Like there's no other one like that.
And that's what especially drives me crazy is that people, when it comes to the Star Wars League, they discount anyone who's had a loss, like despite what their record is, like percentage of knowing the questions.
Mm-hmm. So
like, and because people kept brushing off Dimolanta because he had 2 losses, and I'm like, you can't brush someone off for having 2 losses, like, and especially in the Star Wars League, you can't.
And they play once or twice a year, and it's like
exactly, and it comes down to 1 question. 9 out of 10 times. So it's the Star Wars League is a completely different beast. It's a completely different planet. And
what was Ken's record coming in? Wasn't it like 1-4?
For Star Wars?
Yeah, it was like 1-3, 1-4. I was like,
so he played in the convention match. That's where he won. Yeah, and then he ended up losing.
No, he lost to Whitwer.
He lost to Whitwer. He lost in a live event as well. And then I don't know what the other one was. I'm not sure what the other one was. I know there was one more after that.
Regardless, it's funny because if you don't have a winning record, it doesn't mean you know what in Star Wars. And I think that's what the coolest one is, because we could all sit there and be like, oh, Napzok's gonna kill it because he's a former champion. But he has a losing record, which, I mean, whatever. And then you have Ace, who is 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, oh man, that's right.
The first player ever to win his first 2 matches in Star Wars, which is a big feat. Real quick, Brian, you had mentioned, or we were talking about just losing records in general. Sean was the only one going into the tournament with a winning record.
Yep.
Everybody else had a losing record, and Ace was 0-0. And Josh Cavedo was 0-0 as well. So
we had talked about that too, because we were talking with our friends about how exactly the seeds were working out. And we were like, if they're going based off season record, technically Sean would be the number 1 seed. Because he's the only one with a win this season.
It's interesting. I wonder if these tournaments are going to make them reconsider how the rankings actually rank.
Now that we're going to have more
specifically in these divisions.
Yeah.
Especially because now there's going to be people with more than just 1 win, because everyone's going to have at least 2 or 3 now. So, which for Star Wars, that makes me so happy, because I'm so tired of them just having like 1 or 2 matches a year. And now we have like 4 in a month, and it's been awesome.
Leo steps in here, gave us the one we were looking for. He played Alex for the belt due to corruption storyline. That is true. And then Ferris steps in as well. All the women, all the time, all the records, all the belts. We're for it. We're for it.
I liked you, Ferris. I knew I liked you.
We're for it. We're for it.
You're not going to see us be against that one.
Jill, have you, now that you're studying, have you ever considered the possibility?
Putting her on the spot.
Just because I told you guys how I ranked in the match yesterday.
Yeah, that's exactly why I asked.
Had I spun Revenge of the Sith, I was tied with Ace up until round 3. Granted, I think I only got like one round 3 question right. So could I compete with any of these Star Wars players? Heck no. If you did like a Star Wars spouse couple fun
exhibition
match, throw Nikki Dimolanta in and throw Molly in.
That would be fun.
Would probably beat me so incredibly bad, but it would be fun to watch.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. Harloff, if you're listening, there you go. Throw that in there.
We want a Star Wars spouse.
Yes.
Everyone has a glass of wine, and we're all just complaining about helping our significant others study. And the only reason why I know this question is because I wrote it down for you.
We're here for it. We are here for it. Okay, so Mr. Ace Cabrera walks away with the victory on this one again, 25-23. And this is where the bracket ends up shaking up, looking like next week we have 4 competitors left. The first round is officially done here, guys. And we have Molly Damon versus Andrew Dimolanta next week, which is going to be an absolute just juggernaut of a match. And the following week, we have Laura Kelly versus Andres Cabrera. 4 incredible players. And like we mentioned earlier, 4 very different players from each other. Let's discuss the Laura Cabrera one first, because Ace is the winner of our discussion today. Who do you guys got in that one right now, if you guys can decide?
Laura.
I want to go. I want to do that. But I mean, I've been Laura the whole time.
Get in here.
But Molly's in.
Yes!
Molly's in.
Oh my god. Sorry.
Hashtag Star Wars spouse match.
Oh goodness.
And then we could get like a phone a friend, and then we could like for one question we could be like, what's the answer?
Oh,
I want dibs on announcing that match. Harloff, I want dibs on announcing that match.
Oh man, that made me cry laugh.
That'd be so much fun.
Like I said, I've been wanting Molly Laura the whole time, so that's what I'm gonna do. Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Although everyone thinks we're married, so just call it the Sullivans. It's fine.
Oh god.
Sorry,
I'm gonna go. No,
you're good.
I'm gonna go with Laura, but I have more. Yeah, I have more hesitancy now than I ever did.
I would agree.
I would have Laura through to the finals. Ace is not to be messed with though now, and I have definitely. He's one. If you're riding off, you're gonna be sorely mistaken, because he's proved it not once but twice now that he's serious. So, I mean, I went from 100% Laura to now I'm definitely not. So, yeah. But I'll still stick with her just because she's a mean green wrecking machine when it comes to trivia. So, yeah.
Jill, who you got?
I have Laura. She's gonna be really hard to beat. But Ace pulled up a really great round 1 for arguably one of the hardest round 1s of the tournament so far. But I do love Ace. I think he's great, but I'm gonna give this to Laura, and I'm gonna predict even further and say she's not gonna have to answer her 5.
Oh.
Hey, wait. She's been right on everything she's called so far.
I know.
She's been right on everything she's called so far. So I'm not arguing at all.
I'm gonna Yeah, she'll either have to not answer her 5, or she'll have to answer it because it's like a 1 point difference between her answering it or not. Yeah, I'm a stick with that. That's my thought process.
I'm with you guys. I do think that Laura edges out Ace in this one, and like Brian said, my contemplation between the two got more difficult after yesterday's match. I really like what Ace is doing right now. I really, really do. Whatever he's doing is working for him, and whatever Winston is doing or everybody else on his side is doing is really helping him. He seems like he's having fun. He seems like he's in the zone. But after that match with Laura that we saw against Sean, and maybe the backing of corruption is helping her in the dark side and everything. I don't know, but she really does look like someone.
What are you feeding your teammates, Shannon? What are
she looks like someone that really you just don't want to mess with right now. And then I don't know if you guys saw, but she popped on the stream yesterday and got frustrated that they took down Ken because she wanted to face Ken, which is a really cool thing.
That would have been fun to watch.
Did you notice? Why am I drawing a blank? Not Jay.
Winston.
Oh my God, Winston. Thank you. I don't know.
Welcome.
Brain fart, big time, right there. When Winston started like going off, just being like, she was like trying to stay mean.
I love when he got up and was like running around like Rocky, getting ready for a fight. Yeah, it was so amazing.
God, he cracks me up every time. And
let's just talk about Winston for the rest of the day. We don't need to talk about the other one.
I could talk about him. His managing style is so good. I love the way he manages.
Winston, and I've been seeing people saying he could get manager of the year. Just the way
I agree with that. I agree. With that.
And I mean, dude, come on. I cannot wait for a Winston and Shannon week of trash talk is going to be. It already started. They already started.
I'm sure.
And then you and then you got Sam and Finstock going this next week. So yeah, I don't think anyone would have predicted this set of 4, but I don't think I would be hard pressed to find anyone that's complaining at this point.
No, not at all.
This tournament. This tournament. Yeah, this specific one.
I'm gonna pose the next question because we will talk about in the main show more in deep. But Molly versus Andrew Dimolanta. What your thoughts are right now could change in a matter of days. But thoughts. Molly versus Dimolanta, who do you got?
Molly.
Do I have to?
You have to.
Do I have to? I don't know because
that's fair. You don't have to.
Because Dimolanta was just so scary because he had a perfect game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to go against someone who had a perfect game, but I want Molly to win so bad, and I think she can. She has the knowledge to win.
Do it.
I think that the match is going to go in Molly's favor, whichever way that is, with wheel spins, questions, and I do think that Dimolanta will probably hit a speed bump at some point. Mm-hmm. He's not going to have the flawless game again. I don't think I think the questions are going to be a little more difficult. I don't know if he'll get a category that he likes. Maybe he spins opponent's choice, which will become a very interesting discussion between.
On the wheel?
Oh, is it not on the wheel? Oh, you might be right.
Have they?
No, it was almost because.
Is it on the wheel?
Because one of them almost spun it. Okay. Spin it.
Okay.
It's such a big wheel. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. So I do think that at some point Dimolanta might hit a speed bump, whether that's brain farting on a question and Molly getting a steal, or something as simple as him just not using a JT or something. But I do think that Molly might, and she's going to walk away with the very, very slim very slim victory on this one.
It's gonna be.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a tight match.
I'm picking Molly because here's my thought process is Diamante had that motivation so bad to win a match and to prove it, and I'm not bad, I can win, and blah, blah, blah. When you accomplish that, as much as you want to, it's like winning a championship. Oh, okay, you finally accomplished your goal. Sometimes players relax a little bit. You could maybe kind of just take it. Okay, I got that one win out of my sails. I finally don't have a losing record, or well, a winless record. I think that is going to come back and bite him. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but sometimes motivation and like your drive is so strong to complete that task. Once you complete that task,
Spinners and
Okay,
opponents, and then this one as well. So there you go.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna say that kind of like Jake said, give a speed bump in the road, and I have a feeling this match is very much going to be like once someone trips, they're gonna have a hard time recovering.
Yeah, it could be as simple as missing a first round question. It could be as simple as not using your JT in the right spot. But I definitely do. I agree with you, Brian.
It could be another 725-1 scenario.
Although we know where Molly stands on this one.
Scrimmy Scrams. Can I call Scrimshaw Scrimmy Scrams now?
That needs to be his Twitter handle.
Hashtag Scrimmy Scrams.
Hoop. I know I picked Scrimshaw. Jake, you picked Scrimshaw.
I picked Scrimshaw too. Yeah.
I picked Malanta.
Okay,
yeah.
So yeah.
Let's just look. We're 2 weeks in with Jill, and she knows everything. We get it.
Wrong.
We get
Actually,
it.
that would be Jill 3-0.
Yeah, we get it. We just go with what Jill says. We get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how about I just don't answer this one, because if I answer, then I'm just going to spoil the ending of the match. Because
all right, fair enough. Fair enough.
The force is strong with Jill and her picks. That's for sure.
Molly, I believe in you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way that this match ended up with Ace winning, and these are what the points currently look like, guys. Again, Ace has got all 6 points for swag at this moment.
That's awesome.
Obviously, because of the Barbarians Finstock Exchange pushed themselves forward a little bit more. And we'll see what happens with Demolanta this upcoming week. They could either pad their lead even more, or they can be in a standstill for quite a while, and the usual suspects can get some points. But look, swag is right there. Swag is right there.
Is that with today's match that went out?
That is not with today's match. No.
Okay.
What's today's match?
Today is Alex and Damon versus Jen Kemp.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. And we won't spoil that just in case.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, swag is right there, guys. And with Ace in the tournament, with Paul Oyama coming in IG, they could make a run for sure. And then obviously for the Den, we have Ben Goddard left, and they're kind of holding strong on him to see how he does against Robert Parker. But we're all just hoping that Finstock Exchange loses.
I know. We like the people, but we're like, damn it. Someone needs to take him down.
I love the people. I love Finstock. I love Tom, but good God, stop. Like, we get it. You guys are good, but stop it.
Yeah. Let the rest of us have a little fun.
It's all while we're down, please. Like,
okay, so any last thoughts on today's match and the match going forward, guys? Anything?
Mr. Sean Sullivan's comment. That's exactly
he's got one?
Yep, that's exactly what I want.
Yep, he's with us.
Do too.
He's with us.
Yeah.
I would love a Molly Laura final.
The promo for that would be the greatest gift.
I think all the promos going forward are going to be the greatest gift.
They've been all fantastic.
Jared Chronic is going to have a field day.
Yes.
Yeah.
With these matches.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Oh yeah. There we go.
Yeah. This is team Molly Laura over here.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%, 100%. All right, well there
We
it is,
love
guys.
everyone, but I was saying we love everyone, but
We want a Molly Laura match, you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
God.
All right, well that's gonna wrap up this week's Star Wars Schmoedown breakdown here on A Certain Point of View. As we said before, and we changed up the time this week because Jill is now joining us on a week-to-week basis.
Woohoo!
And this show,
Everyone, everything. I'm sorry.
yes, no, you're good. You're good. This is gonna be here on Thursday nights at 6:30.
Wait, we forgot something.
What did we forget?
What did we forget?
Sorry. Look
Oh,
what Leo said.
you are correct.
Yeah.
You are
Leo,
correct.
thank you for extending the show.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Leo. We will discuss that. And Jill, what do you think about Brandon Hanna going for the Burning Droogs manager?
Listen, Leo, I had it.
Thank you, Leo.
Done. I had succeeded in not Brandon Hanna, and here we are.
Yeah.
I will say it was a pretty bad attempt at trying to claim a manager position. I will say that.
Brandon.
I mean, there was a comment who said it earlier. Sorry, I know Jake, this again is yours, but that said, I know I'm taking his job. That when we were talking about Ken and
right
yes, that one. Thank you. He reads my mind. Yeah.
Of a terrible manager.
I mean,
It just wouldn't work. It just to me he doesn't seem like the manager type, right? He tries to be like this very hard player and he's burning bridges everywhere and all this type of stuff. But even when he was talking about Ken, it literally stopped talking about Ken and it just became about Brandon Hanna. And if you're gonna you don't want that as a faction. Like you don't want that as a faction. And it wouldn't work. It would maybe last one match for yourself, and that's about it.
He just wants the screen time. Real.
I
like hearing himself talk. He likes trying to get other people to listen to him.
I feel like it's ironic because I would use this analogy if it wasn't Star Wars, but he gives me the very much the Kylo Ren vibe where he's trying so hard to be evil, but the light is just there, and it slips out every once in a while, and it's just like
it's a good analogy. It's a very good.
It
analogy.
is, right? He wants to be that bad guy. He wants.
I hope he hears this too. I really hope he hears this. Yeah. So someone send this to him. That'd be great.
Yeah. It's just very much.
I'm not talking to that guy.
I want to be that bad guy, but the light keeps pulling me, and I feel that's very much.
Here's an interesting point, though.
Yeah,
stepping off the Brandon Hanna thing. Is this the setup?
Name.
Is this the setup for Ken taking over the Burning Droogs?
Love that name for a faction.
Which I would also have called correctly.
Me too.
That's
true.
Me too. I win one.
Yes. Team
This
Ken.
feels like when I play against Jake, still missing quite the right ones.
Yeah. Hey, I'm surprised that we didn't hear about.
Sean.
I didn't hear. I'm surprised we didn't hear about the manager before the match. So it leads me to wonder when we'll hear about the manager, because the Burning Droogs aren't going to play for a little while. So maybe it gives them time to pad it. But what's funny about this is that if Ken does turn out being the manager for the Burning Droogs, do you know who his next match is for?
Is it
would be
Hannah.
Yeah. Hannah and who am I forgetting? Alex.
Damon.
Oh,
Damon,
sorry.
Oh.
Hannah.
Hannah Blank. Hannah Blank.
Yeah. But
that would be his next. That would be his first managing positions, which would be very interesting.
But it's Hannah and who? So it's whoever wins. What's that match?
Alex and Jen Kemp.
Alex Jen Kemp. Okay.
Should I throw up this comment real quick?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, I'll throw up this comment real quick. Just a pointer from another player in the league. Very true. Very true.
Good on him though. He did raise a lot of money. He raised $4 grand.
Very true. For a good cause.
So,
for a good cause.
Yeah, I mean it was a good cause.
Okay.
But again,
give him that credit.
The pool It's the light. The light's pulling him to do nice things. He can't escape it. So,
yeah, it'll be very, very interesting. It'll be very, very interesting going forward. All right. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, Leo, you got anything we missed at this point?
No, Leo,
all right, well, that officially does it for this week, guys. Our Star Wars Schmoedown breakdown on a certain point of view. Again, every Thursday around the 6:30 time, we will be live here on YouTube and Twitter breaking down the match that aired the day before. Next week, it will be Molly Damon versus Andrew Delonta, and I'm sure we're going to have quite a bit to talk about. As for our main show, the main show lives up on Mondays. You guys can find it on all audio platforms and YouTube every Monday morning. You guys can find it on Certain Point of View's Twitter page as well. The link will be posted there at Schmoedown POV. For us, Jill, where can everybody find you online?
I'm on Instagram and Twitter, Jilly Marie, 2 Y's, 2 E's.
Nice. Brian?
Instagram, Twitter, B of Alcino.
Did you forget there for a second?
No.
Like, where am I?
I was gonna say same as Jill, but then I was like, wait, no, that doesn't work. Yeah, give her all the
Twitter, Instagram at Qui-Gon Jake, Schmoedown POV for Twitter here, and again, just follow us everywhere: podcast, YouTube, all that good stuff. For now, we are a Certain Point of View. For Brian, Jill, myself, we thank you for joining us as always, and we'll see you guys next week.